Hi, I'm Chris and I'm part of the iHUS community. I think the main reason is we wanted to be closer to the grandchildren. We obviously also wanted to make sure we had someone looking ahead where we're not getting any younger. We might want somebody to pop in now and again and keep an eye on us. So moving closer to my daughter was probably the ideal thing for us. Well, we did a lot of research originally. We looked at lots of different annex builders. We looked at log cabins, we looked at more contemporary designs. I think the reason we went with iHUS was that this contemporary cabin was exactly what Carol wanted, and also we wanted a turnkey project. We didn't want to be having an annex where you had to, as you do with some, where you have to get your own plumbers and electricians and do the sort of second fixes and all that kind of stuff. So we just wanted something where it would get built and we just walk into it basically and put the furniture in. I think that hopefully nobody wants to think about going into a care home. It's not an option that people would choose. Hopefully if we keep our health, just having somebody to sort of pop in, especially when the family and with the grandchildren growing up, they'll sort of pop in as well. I think having family looking after you and just keeping an eye on you is probably better. The advantage of the iHUS Annex is that you've got wheelchair access doors, you've got a big bathroom where you can get a wheelchair in if you need it. There's other things you can get as options later on, so grab rails and things like that. We haven't got them now because thankfully I don't need them, but obviously in the future you can obviously do those modifications here. I think obviously I did it like most people now. The internet's great, you can do a little bit of research. So we looked at things like Caravan Act, planning permissions and all those kinds of things. So I looked at options like that. In terms of development, the iHUS salespeople came along, no pressure. It was a nice relaxed atmosphere, took us through all the different options that we could have. So in the end, I think we had enough opportunity to ask questions. I don't think there was anything other than minor tweaks to the design that we've done. And I think that's another thing about iHUS is when you want to change something, as long as it's not too far down the project, they're quite accommodating and you can personalise your space to suit yourself. It is a big decision to make because effectively you're giving up your property because you're building a house on somebody else's land. So effectively, yes, I own the annex, but I don't own the land it's built on. So you have to hopefully have a good relationship with your family, not fall out. But I think my advice would be, it feels like a big decision, but I think it's one of the best decisions we've made. This is an independent living space. We don't live in each other's pockets. We sit in and have our own nights in. Yes, we do have shared nights together. The grandchildren will pop over and maybe one or two of them will stay and we'll watch a movie. So it's quite flexible, so it doesn't feel like you're actually living in somebody's garden. I love it. Obviously I've just had a knee operation last year, so I've got arthritis in this knee, so I'm still quite mobile. But we obviously we had a dormer, so we had an upstairs. This is a bungalow, so obviously it makes everything a lot easier. I think because I've retired just about as the house was built, it's been great for me because I get all the advantages of I have the house 24/7. Carol goes off to work and then I can do what I want, whether it's watch TV, read a book or go and do the garden. I definitely think this has been a really good move for us. Carol was a little bit more reticent and she's took a little bit longer to adapt. Her sister lives in Middlesbrough, which is where we come from. She misses her sister, so that's been a bit of a challenge for Carol, but she is settling in fine. For me, it's been really easy. I've just transitioned, from working and travelling a long way to work each day to being at home. I've got a big garden. My daughter and son-in-law, they're not gardeners, so they're relying on me. So it's a big task to try and keep on top of the gardens. We just bought chickens, so we've got 8 chickens. So, as you say, a bit of the good life. So we've got plenty of space. We've got lots of projects. We're about to build a log cabin with a pub in the garden as well. So, yeah, effectively, it's interactive family. It's multi-generational, which is what is quite topical at the moment, but for me it's just real. This is a house, and you can get some people say, well, it's a giant caravan. It's not a giant caravan. It is a bungalow. It's a timber frame house. It's a big space. As I say, we can relax in here. We've had guests in here. We don't have to have the daughter and son-in-law in, but we are quite a close family, so generally it's family. But yeah, it's an independent space. We can shut the curtains if we want to. Not that we need to, because we don't overlook them really. But effectively, we could live independently here as independent as we want to. But we actually like to go out together. We go to the pub for meals and stuff like that. So you can have it both ways. You can pull up the drawbridge, sit down, read a book, or you can actually go out and pop over and see the family. Yeah, I think in terms of the process, I think it was exactly what we were told it would be. We were told it would be a 10 to 12 week build, and it was. But I think the key thing is that at all stages of the project, we knew exactly what was happening. Jordan, Ricky, the two main guys who built this house, if you had a question, they would answer it. If they couldn't answer it, they'd ring the office and get an answer. But effectively, we knew exactly what was happening at every stage. So I think for me, it's been a really easy build. Alex, who was the sort of the design guy, if we wanted to change anything, be it the position of sockets, we changed the bedroom layout. We moved the way the bed was positioned so we could look straight out of the window. We measured sockets for the sideboard, specifically space so that we could get a lamp at either side of the sideboard. So for me, nothing is too much trouble. If you know what you want, and I think that is the key, you need to have a clear idea of what furniture's going in, where you're going to put it, and then you can get all of your fixtures and fittings to work for you. So we knew exactly where we were going to put the TV, how big it would be, where we were going to put the sideboard, and where we'd need lamps and things like that. So we moved the sockets to suit what we wanted. Obviously, we've had family come over, we've had friends over, and they all come in and they're absolutely blown away by the space. I think a lot of people expect it to be a lot smaller. It is a big living space. We've got, if I'm being honest, the two bedrooms are bigger bedrooms than the house that we left. So, it's sort of downsizing because we had a 3-bedroom house, we've got a 2-bedroom bungalow, but actually the living space is bigger, the bedrooms are bigger, the bathroom is definitely bigger. So everyone who's came has actually been wowed by the quality of the build. And obviously Carol just dressed the house nicely. Got to give Carol all the credit for that. But it doesn't fail to sort of impress people when they come. They like the design and they like how it flows. They like the outside space, and the big sort of bifold doors, easy fold doors, actually make it a really open space. I think the first meeting with Sean was really good. We went through everything. Now Carol, because we'd already got to a point we were in, he came up and it was the first meeting, and normally he said people just have the first meeting, think about things, and then they go back and pick. We picked everything. We picked the kitchen units, we picked the flooring, we did all the colours, we did everything on the first meeting all in one. So for me it was easy, it was great. You've got to rate it 10 out of 10. There are things that you have discussions, with Anthony, the project manager, with Jordan. There are things where you've got to you've got to have a discussion about certain things and just do it. I think is probably the best thing is that we talked about it for a long time, and you just got to take the plunge. If you're building an annex, you're going to obviously live near your family, which has all the advantages. I would just say get on and do it. It's for me, it's been a dream come true.